Hey, welcome back. We're here in Innsbruck, Austria, at threshold of magnitude 6, and we'll take off very shortly. We are all ready to go. Checklist complete, and just waiting ATC clearance. Let's give you an idea of where we are. Threshold of 1.26. We're doing the Rattenberg Romeo Tango 3 X-ray departure. Today is 10-3 November. Party. Initially via the procedure, coming back around over the airport, outbound towards Rattenberg and DB, and then onwards towards Budapest. However, there could be something that's about to go catastrophically wrong. Maybe not catastrophically, hopefully. We have a little failure put in there, which could cause an interesting departure, so to speak. So, without giving too much away, there's a lot of terrain around the area, and this procedure is designed for IMC. It's right at the limits of the performance of the aircraft. So as you can imagine, any failures may cause some drama on this departure, especially in the weather conditions today. So quick check of the ATIS before we go.
Airport information Tango 0738.
Mission Tango.
Visibility 1 in snow. Sky conditions view cloud at 400, 600. Scanner ceiling 1000.
So we cannot return. We need a takeoff alternate, which we have. It is Malpensa, Milan. 029 is set. Cross check. Takeoff performance is valid. We are ready for takeoff.
All aircraft bring back all short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact US Tango.
Okay. 737 has to do a engine run up before takeoff. Let's hold the brakes. Thrust at 70%. N1. 30 seconds. We're in a sim, so I'm not going to do that, but I will acknowledge the procedure. 10 that has been 30 seconds. Stable indications. Set thrust. Thrust set. $80 knots. Check.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. L nav. Check.
Cautious terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain.
There's not much we can do here. We're right at the limits of the performance of the aircraft.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up.
Just enough speed.
Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain.
43.
Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Terrain. Pull up. Cautious terrain.
Hopefully that's the last of the warnings for a little while. Autopilot in command. That's associated with the failure. Auto throttles off. Flying the aircraft is the main thing. So confirm the failure. Looks like engine 2 fail. Engine 2 fail. Check for severe damage. Looks like there was severe damage with vibration. Engine severe damage, separation of 2 memory items. Thrust lever number 2 idle. Back. Fuel control switch number 2, checked, cut off. Fire switch number 2, checked. Cooled, memory items complete. Standing by. More acceleration height, it's 1,000 feet for engine out, so we can go to 165, which is the speed limit for the radius to fixed turn coming up. Let ATC know, pan, or in this case it's 2-engine aircraft, so it'll be a mayday, input tower. I'm using their flight number today, Lufthansa 002 I think it was. Let them know what's happened, and the engine failure on takeoff with severe damage on the runway. They'll need to do a runway inspection and let them know I'm just going to follow the SID and climb to flight level 160. 10, speed check, sorry 15. Go up to flap 10, speed check, so it's 10. Bit non-standard, I'm just going to do some of the checklists. Tidy up, number 2. Giving us climb thrust there, because we're going to take so long going around the corner. 215, climb thrust, 97.5. We'll probably get another terrain warning as we come around. So really at this stage there is not much else we can do. The height requirements are not necessary with the engine out. With the company engine out procedure is to follow the lateral tracking. Making sure we have different altitude requirements, we don't have to show you, but that's where we are at the moment. The RMP departure is quite important, remaining within that lateral confinement. This turn coming up with the 165 knots is there for a very valid reason. If you go outside of that perimeter, you will be exposed to high terrain. Fortunately, it limits us in being able to clean up and get a better climb gradient, but it is has all been tested under these circumstances. So. Not a problem. As you can see, that initial rotation and climb out really was at your 35-foot screen height, and it's not much at all. You can see the trees fading off into the distance, and it's very scary. But we got there. See, now we're climbing away pretty well.
Cautious terrain.
Yep. It's just here, but we are turning away from it. It's a good look at the EGPWS terrain warning system. What sort of warnings it does give you. See, that's the highest terrain as I have selected. If I go out to a further range, it increases 114. 052 is the lowest. So you can see there is a lot of terrain around. This VSI is also very helpful too. Okay, there's the speed restrictions. Go to the climb, engine out. Engine. Contrast is 97. Can start accelerating. Gives us an 8 there because I've wound it up into the limitation. Looks fine, speed checks, looks fine. Everyone flaps up speed, target speed 214, that's our best mid-drag speed. Wrong one. That's one, speed checks, that's one. As you can see, she doesn't accelerate and climb, it's one or the other, so you really have to make sure you manage your energy very well in these tight, performance restricted scenarios. Flaps up, speed checks, flaps up. Okay, so we're clean, we can look at the checklist. I've got the QRH here on my iPad, so I'll just run through it. The engine sphere damage separation, checklist 8.2. Fortunately, PMDG do a really good job with this aircraft, but they don't do a very good job with their manuals and indexing, so there's no manual and I'm going to go scroll through like a moron to find this checklist. It's not ideal. Okay, here we are. Engine fire or engine sphere damage or separation. one or more of these occurs, engine fire warning, airframe vibrations with unusual engine indication, engine separation. Memory items, auto throttle, if engaged, disengage, auto throttle alarm switch is off. Thrust lever effect, engine confirm and close. Number 2, thrust lever, engine secure, so I'll put it back up. Thrust lever affected engine, done. Engine start lever affected engine confirmed, cut off. Number 2, fuel control switch, checked, cut off. Engine fire switch affected engine confirmed, pull. Engine number 2, fire switch, checked, it's pulled. The engine fire switch overheat light stays eliminated. There is no engine fire or overheat lights illuminated, so disregard. That's memory items complete. If high airframe vibration occurs and continues after the engine is shut down, the engine is not vibrating, the engine is secure. Step 7, isolation valve switch close, close, pack switch affected side off, right pack is off. This causes the operating pack to regulate to high flow and flight with the flaps up. APU bleed air switch off is off. Choose one. APU is available to start. APU start. Okay, we're not going to start the APU. There is a limitation below 10,000 feet. Balance fuel as needed. Okay. Transponder mode selected TA only, which we have here, TA only. If wing anti-ice is needed, isolation valve switch after fire has been extinguished, auto. Plan to land at the nearest suitable airport. Now this is a checklist complete. There also is another checklist that it takes you on to. Go to the one engine inoperative landing checklist on page 7.26 or 7.29, depending on whether you have failed operational auto land capability or not. We do have failed operational auto land capability on this aircraft, so we'll go to page 7-26 and we can tidy that one up. That'll take us through to the landing checklist. SV10, approaching transition, standard, set and cross-checked. Above the clouds, Generic ice comes off. Balance out that rudder trim a little bit. I'm going to have a look at our max altitude, just flight level 222. I'm going to go to flight level 200 with ATC clearance, of course. 200. Target speed is 213. Put it there for now. We also do the after takeoff checklist. Landing gear up and off. Flaps are up. Packs are auto and off. Takeoff checklist is complete. Okay, we've lost the right generator, but we've got the bus transfer. Generator left is online. And we need to balance fuel as needed. So, progress page. Quantity. Let's have a look. We expect with an engine failure to have the quantity low on the left, 3, remain the same on the right. As we've got the cross-feed valve closed and fuel is supplying the left engine. Fuel quantity after departure makes sense. Fuel burn. So I'm happy we don't have a fuel leak. Open the cross-feed valve. and we are going to turn off the pumps on the low side and use fuel from the number 2 engine, or sorry, the number 2 tank, right side, to supply to the left-hand engine, the number 1 engine. Jacks and the last caution as applicable. That will slowly balance it up. We also have a bit of fuel in the center tank which you can use on the cruise. Reaching the Rattenberg NDB here, so we are above the MSA. I'm going to get radar vectors towards Malpensa. Heading select, just a heading 180 now. And we've still got the checklist to do, but we can also configure for an arrival just to get us in the right direction. See the mountains lurking nearby. Alright, so we can't go back to Innsbruck because of the visibility. Required visibility there was below the landing minima for the RMP approach. So we're going to go to Malpensa, Milan. We're going to track direct to Everett. I think. Let's have a look at what we can do. Destination. Put it in. Fuel wise, plenty of fuel. Just to go 169. Direct. Go. LNAV's available. So obviously we'd get clearance from ATC, transfers of frequencies, lots going on. But we're in the sim, so we'll just do our thing. We ensure the safety of the aircraft and follow our procedures. So we are now tracking aviated control of the aircraft, done our memory items and checklist with the landing 1 engine in operative checklist to come. We've been navigated in the right direction, and I'll just show you what we're doing. Rough idea. This is where we are now. I'm going to track direct to Everett and then make our arrival. The ILS will be runway 35 right. See some big terrains around, 14.2, 15.8, 16.6. So on our track, brief terrain altitude we call 16,000 feet. Very high terrain, but we can manage. You can see it here. So we've considered the weather as well en route, and we'll also get the ATIS for all the weather for Milan. Coordinate that. Let the cabin crew know what's going on. They'll still be seated for from takeoff. Let our company know. We'll communicate to ATC firstly, which we have. We'll communicate to the passengers after we've talked to our ISM and let them know what's going on, and make sure everything's sorted. First is aviate, next is navigate, and then communicate. The big three. So we are going to come in to Milan, and we're going to set up for the arrival here, the Everett arrival, Everett to Echo. That'll take us onto the Isle of Suli, runway 35 right. We are an emergency aircraft, we're not going to fly this whole arrival. We're just going to make sure that we get ATC vectors and also manage our descent and speed as appropriate with a single engine, remaining above terrain and the MSAs, making sure we intercept ILS 35 right. So I'm not going to go do the whole arrival. Will be a modified version. But let's set up that in the box. I'm using real world weather at the moment, so go to map so you guys can see it as well. Up to aircraft. So the current weather, the wind is 020 at 4 knots, wind is veering 330 to 060, cabin K -3, 1026 on the altimeter. So it is beautiful weather. It was very foggy there earlier this morning, but that has cleared up. 026. What do we go? The consideration here now, we get in with 6.5. Doesn't actually have a number for us. Figured it out yet. The engine out. So we're getting about 5.5. So just be below landing weight, max landing weight. That'll be fine. I want to give me an abnormal landing. Data. Speed nav out. Let that speed come up a little bit. Alright, forget about the landing. We've got plenty of landing distance auto brake too. Shall suffice. Should be able to do one on the AFB anyway. Set MCP altitude. Okay, track miles to run 212. The cruise, and I need to update that. Execute. Engine out, target speed 240. You know, path. It's 93.7. Is that a rebuff? Okay, that's fine. 2220. MC 761 to Inla. So I'm gonna just do that. Execute. Just gonna build my own little arrival here. Make it easier. We're just going to cut the downwind nice and short, take us on to final instead of going so far downwind on that arrival. Check. Always like to put in my FAT or FAF. Check the legs. Missed approach. Missed approach performance comes into play with a single engine in operative as well. You might need higher minima. You might need an engine out procedure, especially here in Milan with terrain being such a big factor as well in the missed approach. .9 and inbound 348. Fuel wise, keeping a look at that, 6.1. Just an update on that, we are using out of the right, so that's decreasing slowly. That will hopefully balance up at the left before we commence the approach. We've also got to use some of this centre tank fuel as well. Put the centre pumps on. For what it's worth. The approach minima, Cat 1 ILS is 891. I hate the minima on this aircraft, it takes forever. I should change it to accelerate it a bit, but anyway, keep winding away. Hopefully we get there before we land. Right. Set right, 891, set left. Okay, the go around procedure, let's have a look at the charts quickly. Brief for the ILS. So basically, the Everett to Echo come in. I've changed the arrival from MC761. We're going to go to Inla and then pick up the ILS from there. The rest has been checked, the altitude restrictions. We'll get them to send us unrestricted as well. And that'll take us onto the ILS Zulu. Runway 35 right, 11-5, 109.9 is set, inbound 348. Height check at 2110. We have Cat 1. Elevation is 691. The threshold is 768 for the airport. Platform height of 3000 takes us down a 3 degree slope. Barrow 891 for the minimum, set left. And that's set on the right. This approach is climb 1348, actually to 1450, then right turn as soon as possible to join Romeo 024 on the line. Mike Papa, climbing to 3000. And then follow the procedure in LNAV, VNAV, will be engine out, so we'll do it in Toga. And then climbing to 4000, Sierra November Romeo. Performance wise, that'll be adequate for us today, even with the engine out. The terrain is significant. As you can see, ice is 8000. Will be visual, and will be under radar vectors. Weather nil significant. Operationally engine out. Got the checklist to come. We'll be landing on runway 35 right, vacating at Echo. Do a landing assessment as well. Let's have a look. Landing. Calculate that. required landing distance available are good. We have plenty of landing distance. It's not a problem. Let's push that thrust. So it'll be a flap 15, auto brake 2, idle reverse thrust on the operative engine, landing performance received to vacate via echo. We're going to Charlie to the bay. It's complete, the briefing is complete, and let's finish off that one engine and operative landing checklist. Landing must be made with one engine and operative. Aeroplanes without fail operational land capability. We do have operational land capability, so that's the wrong checklist. Okay, here we are. 7.29, a one engine in operative landing. Landing must be made with one engine in operative. Aeroplanes with fail operational auto land capability, choose one. Landing using flaps 30 if performance allows. No. Landing using flap 15. Go to step 2. Use flaps 15 and VREF 15 or VREF for ice for landing and flaps 1 for go around. If any of the following conditions apply, set VREF ice, which is VREF 15 plus 10. Engine anti-ice will be used during the landing. Wing anti-ice has been used any time during the flight. Icing conditions were encountered during the flight. Landing temperature is below 10 degrees. That is applicable to us. VREF for ice is needed. The wind additive should not exceed 10 knots. Obtain VREF 15 plus 5 knots or VREF ice plus 5 knots. Minimum on final approach to assure sufficient manoeuvre margin and speed for the go around. Auto land operations are not authorised when landing flaps 15. Use engine anti-ice on the operating engine only. Checklist complete except deferred items. We'll get the descent checklist. Pressurization landing altitude, we will adjust that to Lance 750. Just check. Water elevation 768. That can go down to 20,000. Recall is checked. We've got ELEC and fuel. The ELEC source off, light is off. There's not much we can do with that. Standby power is configured, and the fuel, we know we have the imbalance. It's checked. Thing is to watch for these center pumps shortly. Recall is checked. Auto brake 2. Landing data. VREF ice 158. Minimum is 891. VREF ice minimum 158. Minimum is 891. Approach briefing is completed. Check authorized auto land. Weather minimum is not applicable. Just a couple of notes. If additional go around thrust is needed, configure the pressurization system for a no engine bleed landing when below 10,000 feet. Wing anti-ice switch off, isolation valve which switch is closed, bleed 1, air switch off. Okay, we're not going to worry about that procedure, that's fine. Go to the go around procedure review, do the normal go around procedure except landing using flaps 15, use flaps 1, maintain VREF 15 plus 5 knots or VREF ice plus 5 knots until reaching flat retraction altitude. Limit bank angle to 15 degrees when airspeed is less than VREF 15 plus 15 knots or VREF ice plus 5 knots or the minimum manoeuvre speed whichever is lower. Accelerate to flap 1 manoeuvring speed before flat traction. Go to the approach checklist below. Okay. Standing by.
Lima, India, Mike Charlie. Airport information Delta 0750 Zulu. Weather wind 008 at 5. Visibility 10,000 sky.
Okay. Top of descent very shortly. See the end of the mountains there. Milan is just on the other side. Hopefully we make it safely. Give this opportunity now, caught up on all our procedures, to make a PA to the passengers and just advise them that everything is under control. They in safe hands. Single pilot auto operation, or single pilot operation. Stop descent. Auto pause. What's going on up here? Because I don't have a co-pilot. So I hope I've done everything and it's been cross-checked. It's off. Line radar, contact them. Give us our descent clearance. Well, it's like looking at the frequencies at least here on the sim, even though you're not talking to anybody. It's just a good awareness to have. I really love this HUD. Actually love this aircraft. PMDG's new 737. Using their livery as well. Everything is detailed extremely well. The little pilots up the front. Scimitar winglets, wing flex there, wing bending. It's got everything. PBR really looks fantastic. Okay, reset MCP altitude. So talk to Milan and they have initially cleared us down to flight level 140. Flight level 140 terrain. Good weather, it's clear. I'm just gonna quickly save that as well. VNAV speed. Flight level 130. Flight level 130. Landing lights on early. Pressure. Take that. Thing about VNAV speed, the mode you're in with auto thrust not available, is it'll give you speed protection. So if you go back to idle, it'll hold that speed at 240 knots. Unlike VS, if you wanted to say a descent rate of 500, if you forget with the thrust, it will just hold that and your speed will keep coming back. drifting off that profile a little bit. Probably run about 70% N1 on the good engine. 500 feet per minute. You want a VS of about 1200 feet. $895. So 10 miles, gonna lose 3,000. It's because they at or above altitudes earlier, and I've made them at altitudes. But we are going to descend unrestricted after 895 real visual. It's just the FMC giving us a warning, which is nice. Coming down here, this is the first altitude restrictions. These are at or aboves. As you can see, the high terrain is the reason for it. So once we're past our high terrain within the 25 nautical mile sector, we get further descent once under agency clearance. Where would the reference charts want to go? We get direct now to Mike Charlie 761. 761, execute, all navs available. Be high, and we get further descent down to 4,000. Minimum vectoring altitude 4,000, train set. See, it's not bad on the profile, we can make that work. Like that. Just let it give us our normal profile. They're giving us 4,000. QNH. So 1026. Set and cross check. Approach checklist altimeters 1026, 1026. Cabin is ready. Approach checklist is complete. It's always good not to just rely on VNAV to have a look at that's through 10 above. The progress page, so coming up to 30 miles is my gate there. I'd want to be at about max 9,000. Good little height, about 8,000. It's time to take up a bit of speed, 250 knots. RLS Mike Lima Papa inbound 348 is identified. This wasn't reported on the weather, this cloud. Okay. My D cell point there. Flaps 1, speed checks, flaps 1. So we maintain 3,000. 3,000 is set. Miles to run, looking fantastic. Miles 6,000. Flaps 5. Flaps 5. Speed 180. Going to leave the engine and the ice off. That's still out of cloud, okay, so to speak. BBS. Got a level change, MCP speed. Gives me speed protection as I talked about earlier. Okay, we got correct sensing. The low kit is identified. We are clear for the approach. Low calm, glide so calms. It's 5 above. Lack of fuel pumps coming on. Keep the crossfeed valve open. Our low inbound is 3428. Alright. Flight slope's moving. Float's moving. Line radar. We are established. Contact tower 119.0. Ground 121.825. Call up tower, let them know we're established on final. Still searching. Glide slope and 4,000 set for this approach. I didn't set up earlier was the HUD. Get down. Armed. Submission. Brakes 2. That's 10. Switch X was 10.
2500.
15, speed check, so it's 15, it's landing flap. 165, final approach. Landing checklist, landing gear, sorry, speed brake is armed. Green light, navigate down 3 greens, flaps 15, green light. Checklist is complete. An idea where we are. The altitude checks at the FAP on this approach is set for the heading, altitude, and the MCP to waypoint. on the other. We're going to do an auto land. Land 3, roll it on, flare up. Got A, triple I is armed, stable. Should come up with the runway indications. Pretty good system is that. Right, we are cleared to land. And 7 knots is published. The autopilot. The puppies are calibrated here, I think they're wrong.
100. Minimums.
Continue.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Speed brakes up. Caution there. First green. Live engine. knots. And we're braking. Welcome to Milan. A bit keen on the flats, you wouldn't do that in the real world, but there you go. So, from an engine failure out of Innsbruck, Austria, runway 26, snow, poor visibility on a very restricted performance short runway, and also the climate was very restrictive on our performance of the 737-800. You can still see we managed it, we climbed away, and we diverted safely to our takeoff alternate Milan over some very high terrain. So you can have a look at some of the considerations when it comes to these performance limited airfields and the process that we go through when things go wrong. I hope I haven't missed anything major. It is hard to do as a single pilot in a sim at home, but it just gives you a general idea of the sort of performance of the aircraft and sort of some of the procedures that we follow. Cool, that's it for now. Thanks for joining me.